So quick review here for here. Review here for the movie here for the film that is titled Here. It's a set piece, like a stage. And I mentioned this to someone in text. I mentioned, I'm excited to see this film. It looks intriguing to me. I think I'm going to like it because it looks like something I would enjoy. It's sort of life mementos type film, and I was wondering though, because the trailer we see it's like a set piece, like a stage, like everything like happens within a set frame, and it's only towards the end of the film that the frame actually shifts. This is funny actually. This is something that happens in the film. Only towards the end that the film actually it kind of shifts, right? And I guess you can see the digital. This film's kind of even the intro with the logos for the companies that were involved in the making of the film, whatever the logos in the beginning, what primary companies they are specifically, I don't know, but even those look old and vintage, and the score kind of reminds me of an older film as well. And then the film we're set in, like, I know one's present day, presumably. Another, and I actually mentioned it. I'm glad I saved for the credits a little bit because I'm confused with the dates here. But one's 1900, around that time. Another one's definitely around the 1940s. Well, actually, one's like flapper era, so I guess that's why he's like very energetic. That guy, he likes a chair, like the lazy boy chair, basically got invented in this home, that kind of thing, right? And I like that couple. They're like filming pornography. Oh my gosh, so sorry. Let me see if I have a napkin. Felt it in my nose like a tickle, and I hadn't. Oh, actually, I do have it. Thank goodness. Yeah, there's this, because his wife's like kind of nude and naked, but they constructed it with the chair basically, in that scene in the film, and so. Bloody hell! Sometimes you really have to force yourself to sneeze, right? Let me go ahead and clean my glasses. Got a little bit on my glasses. Bloody hell! It's just a bloody mess everywhere. But bottom line is, let me kind of lean here so you can actually hear my voice with this audio, sort of, somewhat. But what was I thinking in my head? Actually, I think I want to definitely watch this video over, see how it sounds. I bet it sounds a little, because I got the microphone. They have a microphone in the back, and I'm wondering maybe that microphone is the one to pick up audio, so maybe you guys can't really hear me. But you should be able to hear me now. Well, actually, you should be able to hear me regardless. I don't know, whatever. Anyhow, what was I thinking of? Yeah, the like 1920s type couple, right? But the guy says 42, but I think he said it towards the end, so maybe it was the 20s. Then they have the other couple that lives in the house, which is actually, that's Hank's parents, Al and Rose. Al has a stroke, and she dies. It's kind of cute, actually. You get to see her, like, I thought she was dead, actually, from the beginning, but then we see her again, and we learn that, okay, well, something happened to her. And what happened to her is that she had a stroke. And then with the father, he came out, he went to Florida, right? And then all that jazz, I guess, kind of typical, retired to Florida. He comes back to the house to live with Rose, to live with Rose, to live back with the son. Because he gave his son the home. And he's been in that home, I guess, basically his whole life, actually, now that I think about it. This film is a nice parallel between people, right? Because the wife, they met in high school, so they met very young. And they were together for a very long time. They only had one child together, oddly enough, right? They had the one daughter. They got married because they had the daughter. And she lived in the home with the family. Okay, fine, fair, right? But then we see, like, later down the line in the film, she leaves him. Because she throughout the film, this is a recurring fight that they have when she says, I need my own space. We need our own home. We need to have, like, basically our own life, right? That's what we're getting at here. We kind of need our own pathway here. I mean, we're just in your family home, you're working, and then I'm doing the job, but I guess for some time she wasn't working, but then she was working, but like his job is ass, like it's not anything exciting here. And so that's something that's very relatable, is it? Like, and you realize, and she says this even I think she says this, and even he says it. They both say like time goes by fast. Like before you know it, wow, so much time has passed. It's been 10 years already. Wow. So it's good that when she does leave him finally, and she travels. She travels, she experiences the world, she sees things for the first time. She goes to Paris like she said she wanted to, with her daughter too, which is nice. We never got to meet, so that's the after Vanessa. We see teenager Vanessa, but we don't see adult Vanessa. And that kind of sucks. Because we also get this reference to this man named David with Vanessa. So presumably David is Vanessa's husband, or not husband, but he's the presumed to be husband. It sounds like it's a serious relationship. Whoever this David figure isn't just a boyfriend. It sounds like this is well, it is a boyfriend, but it sounds like it's actually going to blossom into somebody being added to the family, a new addition to the family. That's the kind of context that I got from the conversation that she had very briefly when she says to Tank, like, oh, we're thinking about going every year to Paris, and this time without David, because I guess she tags along with her mom. I guess he came along as the partner, but said, well, why don't we just a mom-daughter type trip, and how do you call it? So that was nice, and it's actually it's good for Tom too that they had that split. Because they didn't divorce, right? They split. That's what happened. They split from each other. They didn't divorce, but they split from each other. And because, she realized she turned 50 and she has this hypophysis. I don't know what the word would be. I don't even know if that's the right word, but, she kind of she groups herself together. She collects herself and she just says, like, she realized, like, I haven't done anything. Everybody, all y'all came to my birthday party. I'm 50 years old. You came to my birthday party. And that's cool and that's awesome. And, it's nice to see your faces. But you're like, man, I haven't done anything, looking back at it, it's like, shit. What do I have to show for, like, myself? Nothing much. I gotta tell you, really, nothing much. I'm kind of just... I've always been in this house. And we see that the same thing with him. He was an artist. He wanted to be a graphic artist. And he was really good at art. And he never did that. He never pursued that career or that dream to be a graphic artist. He settled for law firms, for corporate jobs. He worked in the health insurance type shit. Kind of boring jobs, really. I guess they pay well, though. I want to imagine. I think they're called white collar. I want to say those are white collar jobs, typically. I want to say. But I don't know for sure. But... and he would tell his wife, his girl, like, yeah, we're gonna get a house. We just, we can't do it right now. The market's bad. He always had an excuse. He always had a reason not to do it. And that's what she tells him, right? There was always something. You always had some sort of excuse, some sort of reason why they couldn't have been done. And, like, why? Like, no. No, I can't continue this anymore. I have to go. I have to experience life because I'm 50 fucking years old. And she was having moments. She was having, what do you call those? Oh my God, what do you call those? She gets, like, either dementia or Alzheimer's. She was having symptoms with, like, periodic bouts of memory loss. And she would tell him, like, hey, isn't it weird? I was driving on my way home and I had to pull over because I realized, what am I doing? Why am I driving here, actually? She'll say things like that, or like, like when she comes over for Chinese food, Thanksgiving dinner, because what do you call? What was I thinking in my head? Oh my God, what was it? Yeah, the daughter, like that, and that's actually why that relationship. Actually, maybe by that point it might have been even a fiance at that point, because she says, she said Vanessa is we're gonna do Thanksgiving at David's mother's home, right? And if your partner is, if your daughter's telling you, oh, we're gonna do Thanksgiving at my boyfriend's mother's home, like, presumably it's pretty serious, right? This is that relationship, like, oh, okay, this David person, I guess we're gonna have to meet him, so we know, like, okay, this is a new addition to the family. We have the grandkids, and David's gonna be the father. Right? That's how like, it gives you that insight that, okay, something serious with that. What was I thinking in my head? I like when they have the fortune cookies, and her fortune cookie was true to her, right? You had an adventure, and indeed, it has been. And she says, indeed, it has been. She's been traveling. She's been living her life, experiencing, doing the things that she didn't do when she was young, that she's realizing now, I should have done this. Man, I really should have like enjoyed my life, enjoyed my youth. I mean, I loved you and I got with you and we had the kid, but holy shit, that changed everything, you know? When I got that kid with me, that was it. It was over. It was a done deal, was it? It didn't float well after that. It kind of stopped. It really did kind of stop. But what was I thinking of in my head? Something. Oh my god, what was it? Yeah, he gets hurt. His fortune says, you know, somebody, a loved one will come back into your life, and I guess she did because they're in contact and they're talking, and she came over for Thanksgiving dinner with him. But he says that when he reiterates it, not reiterates the sentence, but he says to her like, "Is my fortune true?" Something to that effect, basically saying like, "Are we like not split anymore? Are we gonna get back together? Maybe you think?" And she tells him like, "No, it's not." And I was like, "Aw." But I guess, you know, that's good that, you know, I'm not entertaining anything here. Yeah, they come see you because I do care for you. I do have some sort of semblance. We having, for crying out loud, we spend, because she turned 50 and she was at that house presumably before, like in her late teens. She spent a long time in that home with her family. And oh my god, I hope this phone call doesn't like fucking interrupting. Hang on, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, this is the first time I have a review that's actually split because I got a friend that phone called me, and I wonder actually if it picks it up in the other one actually. But anyway, what was I thinking of? Yeah, the film. It's a nice movie. Does it have a good resolution? I guess. He gets dementia, and because I like when in the beginning, actually open up with this kind of open up with this scene in the beginning with the realtor. She sets him up. Presumably this doesn't happen too long afterwards, I guess. Actually, maybe not actually, because he comes in the house and he says, "Oh, it's been 10 years," and they split up around the 50 age mark. And I think he still had color. They still had color in their hair. So yeah, actually, it's been 10 years. So that means, oh my god, they're like 60. They're like in their 60s or something, presumably. And yeah, you know, he just says to her like she has dementia, and I guess there's no coming back from that from the love necessarily per se. And it sounded like also she had someone. Oh my god, that's what it was. When she mentioned David, I was thinking, oh, maybe that's like her new. She's telling him about like I'm in a relationship. No, I remember now. That was the daughter's boyfriend, or whatever. But yeah, it was good even for him that he left because he got into painting again, and that was something that he liked. And we saw in the film when he got the job how he was putting the paintings away, and it looked like he was upset. It looked like he was pissed off. But then when she comes back and she talks to him like, "Oh, hey, look at your dad's home," blah blah blah, and then he's like a calm demeanor. He's like, "Oh, okay, he's not upset," because the way he was putting the paintings away, I was like, "Oh, maybe he was like kind of upset." But then she even asked like, "Are you happy?" And he doesn't answer. But the answer, I guess we don't need him to actually answer that, because we already know he's not happy. He had a kid, so he had to, you know, basically like what people would say, he had to get his shit together and get to work. And he even said that later in the film when she asked, because she said, "Oh, Vanessa called me. We talked about you actually." And one thing the daughter had asked the mother, like, why did he stop painting? I know he dad liked to do this, right? He was really good too. He painted as a hobby. He was actually really good at it. He was like, wow, it's a good painting. And she asked like, why did he stop though? However, and she mentions, you know, oh, he stopped because what was the reason actually? What was it? Yeah, that she didn't know. Like, I don't know why really you stopped painting. Actually, she asked me. I was like, I don't fucking know why you stopped painting. But he says, because I guess he's like, oh, but it's so obvious. I had to work. He kind of says it like in a rude way. Like, holy shit. Listen, I really didn't know. I wouldn't have. I guess that makes sense. Yeah, you had to start working. But did you really have to stop painting? I mean, you could have continued on with it, you know, as a hobby, an occasional thing that you can do. But I guess, yeah, when you start working, and especially you start working full time, presumably he was working full time, which is kind of funny. Well, you gotta wonder how much money these people say. This is why I gotta see like a especially from the fish jelly people. I gotta see like Nick Joseph. They bring it up because they're working this job but they're living with the parents. Presumably, they're not paying too many bills with them. So, I mean, maybe they couldn't. But then we know that she's working a job alone. She gets an apartment on the high street, whatever the fuck high street is. So it's like, holy shit. I mean, can we just? Maybe we don't even need a house. Maybe we can get an apartment. So at least we have our own space until then, and then we can still continue saving until we actually get another house. Or even better, we come back to the house later, but that kind of defeats the purpose of the film, right? I like I don't think the brother died. I think he lived. His other brother that he joins the Navy. And then I think he had a sister too. Although I don't even remember much what happened between them at all. Because our main focus is Ricky. I think that's his name in the film. I think his name is Ricky. No, it's Richard. I think it's Richard, actually. I think. And, yeah, so in the film, like, Richard is our main guy. And that's the dude we're with. And so... What was I thinking of in my head? Oh, my God. Yeah, it's Richard's story, sort of. But then we also have these cutscenes for, like, different time periods. And some of them we get a little longer and more in-depth than others. Like, the colonial one... It's like very vague, and on the script there's really nothing holding weight there. The Indian one, I guess, is sort of somber sweet. I like that they fuck on the like rock meteorite thing. That was kind of cool, but other than that, nothing really. And because they had a kid too, but then when we see that guy, presumably that woman, that's the woman, and then that old man, actually that's him. So like, oh my god, well then where's their kid? Is there a kid? I thought it would have been maybe their kid, and then we see them old and the kid's young, but I don't know. Like, kid's grown, but. They have one with the airplane. I like that he dies from the flu. I like the modern one. So I guess this one happens after the fact. Or like, actually, this explains the 10 years. So the 10-year gap is that when that family moves in. It's a black family. And this fact is important for it. Because we get a scene where he's sitting down with his son and explaining what to do during a traffic stop. And so I thought that scene was interesting and different to add in a film. You know, sort of presenting a reality for Black Americans in today's reality, climate. And then they also have like a maid that's Hispanic, and then she's also like, she dies from COVID, and then we see them wearing masks. So like, we know, okay, it's COVID era shit happening, like. So that's felt kind of interesting seeing a film, a reference to COVID as a bygone era, because obviously when we see in the modern day, they don't have no mask on, because yeah, COVID, it happened, now it's over. It's kind of like in the past now. I like this film. I did enjoy watching it. It felt a little... It wasn't amazing. I went in I guess maybe that's the problem. I went in with this film expecting it to be kind of more grand than it was. I was like wooed over by it, but not so much, to be honest. No, it just, I liked it, but it's not amazed. But still, I would recommend you see it. Especially like feel good homely movies that don't have any like bad things, right? It's like very tame, right? Thank you for listening.